Hi, welcome to Off Script. I'm Zach Lewis.
And I'm Dr. Draper.
Today in the show, we're talking about Disney Pixar's Turning Red. The movie's out, and it's surprisingly a little controversial. So I'm excited to talk about it, see what Andy thought. We're also going to talk about Netflix's The Adam Project, an otherwise small film that I wasn't paying much attention to, that is doing really well now, and I'm not sure why, but apparently it's doing super good. So. Yeah. Hey, Andy, can you hear me any better? Hold on.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Indeed.
I just realized my microphone was turned on like one, like just no volume at all. Anyway, I'll fix that in post. Hopefully I'll fix that in post. We're also going to talk about, I said the Adam Project. I'm talking about the 2021 global box office and where it's at in relation to like 2019. And it seems silly, but believe it or not, even though the box office, films are back in an upswing, we're not quite where we used to be, and it might be worth talking about. And before we get to all of that, we need to talk about the news. Our first story this week: Warner Brothers is shifting dates for some of their upcoming releases, which is weird because it seems like their upcoming releases lately have been doing really well, right? Andy, why are they moving stuff? What's going on here?
The only thing that I've heard is that it's a delay in some of the effects production, but that's only part of the story. That's only some of the reason. I don't know what the rest of them, what the rest of the reasons are. But some of these are some pretty big shifts. So starting with The Flash, which was supposed to come out this year, November 2022, is now being pushed way back to June 23rd, 2023. So that's a huge. I was so looking forward to that. So that's really disappointed. Aquaman and the Last Kingdom is being pushed from Christmas to March of 2023. That's not a huge bump. Timothy Chalamet's Wonka, he's going to be playing Willy Wonka in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory reboot, yes. Remake, whatever.
He sings, he dances. Oh yeah,
that's being moved to Christmas 2023, which was supposed to come out spring 2023. So some of this is being moved up. Shazam: Fury of the Gods, the sequel to Shazam, is actually being moved forward to this Christmas, December 16th. It was supposed to actually be out a little bit later. One of the other big shifts is Black Adam, the Dwayne Johnson's superhero movie, was supposed to come out this June or July and is being pushed to October 2022. So still this year, but just moved back a couple of months. So a lot of big shifts for a lot of major things we were looking forward to.
One of the things I think it's really notable about this announcement is that it didn't just come out of nowhere. Of all people, Dwayne Johnson posted about it on Instagram just a few hours before Warner Brothers actually made the announcement. Said, "Hey, big announcement for my fans. 2 of my movies are moving: Black Adam, and then also this DC League of Super Pets movie, which he's also in, is being moved as well." So he got on to announce that, and a few hours later, Warner Brothers followed. Surprising. He's just letting the talent get out in front of that. Maybe they didn't know he was going to say it, or maybe they just gave him the room. Either way, he is the biggest, still probably highest earning action star, right, in the world, and good for them. Just letting him run with it a little bit. He's the guy. Why not? He's Black Adam. Let him tell the world.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a neat way to break bad news. Like how better to break bad news than with the most charismatic man on the planet.
Yeah. More importantly, I think the only other thing that's really notable here is moving to just really sly. They're moving Black Adam and Shazam 2 closer together, right? Just a little bit. Like pushing one back and bringing one up, and before you know it, those movies are a little closer together than they used to be. I know Black Adam takes place in the Shazam universe. I don't know why. Maybe there's something to that. But it's still a bit of a surprise, considering our next bit of news. The Batman is destroying it at the box office. God, Batman enjoys a $66 million weekend and blows past $238 million in the U.S. Overseas, it's doing even better, I think. Andy, what do you know about this?
Batman is doing great. Good numbers. This is what we anticipated. So much so that there was no theatrical competition this week. There were no new releases for March 11th in theaters. Which I think is really funny because everyone basically got out of the way of Batman. No one wants to compete and lose money. And there were new releases on streaming, which is what we're going to talk about this week. But it's doing great. It's approaching. It's probably crossed 500 million already.
Yep. I know overseas is also doing really well. I don't have. What do I got in there? Nope, that's about Uncharted. I'm wondering if I have actual like international information. I don't know if I do, but I read somewhere that this is like the 10th highest grossing film since the pandemic. Now, like this has slipped into the top 10. I think it just beat Godzilla v Kong over the world, which is crazy. I feel like I didn't think it was going to do this good. I'm going to be honest. I thought the Batman was a little artsy. I thought it's slow, it's dark. Not that many people are going to hop up and go see it. So, a little like Spider-Man, somehow, even though it's a comic book movie, I'm surprised.
I thought it was going to do exactly how it's doing. I was, as long as it wasn't some sort of kind of weird bomb or
Yeah,
something way out there. Like, as much as I love The Matrix Resurrections, it was a really strange way to go with that franchise. And
yep.
barring doing anything like that, I thought it was probably going to be a big hit, and it absolutely has. So, but even despite being 3 hours long, which means fewer show times, I think that's one fewer show time per day.
Yeah.
People are still going out, and it is, it's a dark film, dark not just like visually, but in tone and mood. It's not like get the family together and watch the Batman. Like it's
No.
so it's got a lot of things that are maybe counterintuitive, but at the end of the day, it's Batman, and people will definitely come out to see it.
Have you seen it again since we saw it for the show?
I have not.
Oh, really? Oh, what are you doing? I went and saw it again just last
Been
night.
busy.
Second impression, I think I liked it more than the first time I saw it, and I really liked it the first time I saw it. I think the movie's super good.
It's generally how things, especially like the plot is a little complicated, so the better you understand it going in, probably the more enjoyable it'll be.
Yeah. Small hot take, good opening shot. Anyway, enough about the Batman. One more thing before we move on to our next story.
Enough, but more.
Well, it's not necessarily about the Batman, but about comic movies in general. And you know what the next big comic book movie is? Morbius. Oh man, they had a whole new trailer in front of the Batman last night that I still haven't seen. A new trailer for Morbius. My God,
this movie's been delayed like almost 2 years, and I cannot.
It's so vapid.
It's gonna be a hit. Yeah, it's gonna be a hit.
I think it's gonna be a hit. This trailer I saw last night was completely devoid of like character. It gives away the ending. Like they're just throwing all of it at the wall. It's gonna be I think it's gonna be a bad movie that's going to make a bunch of money, and it's going to remind everybody, hey, don't assume all comic book movies are good. Just because we've had a glut of some good ones lately does not mean they're all going to be bangers. But we'll see. Maybe it'll be great. I don't know. Maybe Morbius will come out and be super good. But I just have a feeling.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hit. That's I think it'll.
Don't say that.
Yeah, I mean, Sony's done good with. I mean, the two Venom movies are not good films by any means, and they're both huge moneymakers.
Yeah. Wow. Our last story this week, HBO Max and Discovery are going to be bundled to combine for what the Warner CFO says is a quote blowout. He said it's going to be a blowout product. HBO Max and Discovery Plus. Can Warner Brothers get any bigger? Can AT&T get any larger? Like Andy, what do you know about?
Well, so that's the thing. AT&T is selling Warner Media. It's spinning off Warner Media. It's selling off to something completely different, and that's what's happening. Is it's merging with Discovery, and instead of having two different services, they want to combine them for some huge blowout service. That's going to be HBO Max and whatever's on Discovery Plus, which is I think a lot of nonfiction kind of programming. Initially, they will just be kind of separate bundles, and they're hoping to do this quickly. There are no dates yet, but they're hoping to get this done in a few months. And we don't have anything like a price point yet, but that will be coming. But eventually, they want to just have it one giant product of both HBO content and Discovery, and maybe they'll call it something new.
I tell you why I think that's smart, because I could not care less about Discovery Plus and have no interest in buying that product. But if it's paired with what is currently probably the best streaming service out there, like, come on, like suddenly it's a shoe in, right? Like, why wouldn't you go for it? I have no idea what kind of content is on Discovery Plus. If it's anything like the last time I watched the Discovery Channel on cable television
Ancient
a decade
Aliens,
ago,
the History Channel. No.
Yeah, it's Diet the Learning Channel, which is just complete trash for your brain at this point, right? That's going to be like Hoarders, like old episodes of Man versus Wild, like who cares, right? Andy, do you think there's any value in adding this to HBO Max
I
subscribers? I mean, do you care? Are you excited about getting Discovery Plus content?
I am not at all. I don't know. I don't even know what's on Discovery Plus. My worry is what is this going to cost? Because if HBO Max is already $15, and if you add a whole nother service to it, if you combine it, you're going to have to add some sort of price point to it. You're going to have to charge more, or you just combine them both and say, it's still $15. You're getting twice the product for the same price, something like that.
Yeah. So I just whipped open the Discovery Plus website because I really wanted to know bit of live production for y'all at home. It looks like Discovery Plus represents channels such as HGTV, Food Network, TLC, Animal Planet, Discovery, A&E, Lifetime. The History Channel's in here. There you go. The Travel Channel, the Science Channel. Like, yeah, okay. And their big claim here is get up to 55,000 episodes of television for $5 a month. $4.99 a month is what they cost. $7 ad free. If you want to check out Discovery Plus for yourself, head to discoveryplus.com. Yeah. I think this is like a pack-in bundle almost. Like, I can't imagine who is subscribing to that, right? Like, who cares about what's going on in Discovery Plus? I hope this doesn't sully the mighty HBO brand. That's what I hope. I hope I don't end up having to dig through crap like television to get to the stuff I want to watch. But we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And like I said, light on details at the moment, but that'll be coming within the next few months, I guess.
Yeah. So keep it here on Offscript for more exciting news about HBO or streaming services or movies in general. Usually movies is what we do every Tuesday when we go live on Facebook or just, record and post our episodes. With that being said, I should move very quickly into Turning Red because I feel like I'm starting to circle myself here. So this movie is available on Disney Plus. It's Pixar's new feature. I should clumsily switch to this. The movie is Turning Red. So Turning Red is the story of Meilin, a 13-year-old Asian American living in, I'm Asian American, Asian Canadian living in Toronto.
Canadian.
Yeah, not actually in America. It's in Toronto, I should say. In the year of our Lord 2002, May is getting along with her friends, making straight A's, and helping out at the family shrine. It's a family shrine to the mighty red panda that the Lin family owns in Toronto. She gets along with her mom. Things are good. But one night she awakes to find that overnight she has turned into a giant red panda. And as a mark of adolescence, this is something all of the Lin girls go through. May has to decide whether or not she wants to turn into a giant red panda whenever she gets really emotional, or if she wants to get rid of this curse and become a normal girl for the rest of her life. The movie is Pixar's latest feature. It was kicked straight to, I shouldn't say kicked, sent straight to Disney Plus. Despite Pixar's best efforts, it was not released in theaters this weekend. And it's been surprisingly contentious, which I want to talk about a little bit. It hasn't been too contentious, but I feel like there are some people who...
There's been some hot takes.
Yeah, have some interesting hot takes about this movie. So we'll get to the kind of the public perception, I think, at the end. But for now, Andy, I got to know, what did you think of Turning Red?
So I really liked it. It's a sweet movie. I will say some people are absolutely in love with it. Some people are just having really, really positive emotional reactions to it, and that's really great. That's what we want from cinema. I do not feel that strongly about it. I do like it. I do think it's good, but some people are just think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But I did think it is good. It has a fun story of adolescence, coming of age, represented by the red panda, and there's a lot of other it's about even though it's about these young girls, there's still a lot that everyone can kind of relate to, because it's about the awkwardness of your body changing, the awkwardness of you start to have feelings for the opposite sex, you stop getting along with your parents. It's those kinds of adolescent struggles, and it's told through these a really funny animation of like the panda bursting forward. And it's funny because she gets like just little, if she doesn't get totally worked up, she just gets like her arm will turn into a paw, or she'll get like the ears, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's a really like cute and fun movie, and I was glad I was able to watch it on Disney Plus.
Yeah. So Andy and I are at a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to Turning Red, and I think this may be part of that like critical reception it's been getting. And like I said, I'll talk about the end. I don't mean for this to sound as slanted as it does, but we are not necessarily in like the time. I don't want to say
We're not the
target group.
we're not the
not
target.
Meilin, right?
We're not
13-year-old girls in 2002. We're not 13-year-old girls at all. We never will be. And that's a challenge because a lot of Turning Red isn't just about adolescence and puberty. It's about having your first period, which is something that Andy and I obviously have never had to experience. And I think a lot of people have been like surprisingly turned off by this. They think it's maybe too adult. They think it's not really for kids. They think it's like too over the top, too on the nose with the messaging. And I uniquely disagree. I think Turning Red is kind of important because I've never seen a movie that addresses this stage of adolescence for this very large group of people in a way that's so direct, but also so charming and accessible, because it's not just about like a young girl having her first period. It's about growing up and being excited about something. For Meilin and her group of friends, it's this boy band called Four Town that they're super excited about. And it's about having those kind of horse blinders on when you're a kid and just being so infatuated with something that you can't get over it. You get emotional about it and you can't control that, and the world around you doesn't understand it. And how your parents deal with that. I think the message it's telling is important. And I also really love the way it tells it. Turning Red is this like really brilliant tribute to anime. Director Domee Shi is a huge anime fan. Her last work was a short with Pixar called Bow. I forget which movie that ran in front of, but really good short. And she wanted Turning Red to be like this very visual representation of Canada and growing up in Toronto, but also like magical transformation anime, right? Just like Sailor Moon and there's all kinds of anime stuff in here, like just from the trappings of what they wear to their faces and how they act. A lot of the animation, like very anime. So combine those two things, this important story about adolescence and like anime, and put it in a Pixar blender. Like, what's not to love? Like, I think it's great. So yeah, like that's how I've come out on this. But I want to talk about the movie proper, and I know I'm talking way too much. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah. So one of the things that this movie does so well is just representation. First of all, I saw this was the only like the fourth movie in the 25 films that Pixar has made that has had a female lead. So it's representation, and it's a young Chinese girl and her family. And also, yes, it doesn't shy away from the topic of menstruation, which is also not the focus though. Like that's like when she turns into the red panda, like it's an allegory, yes, but the movie is not about menstruation at all. There's a couple of jokes, and that's what, you know, I've talked with several women about this, and they said, you know, that's what they loved, is that the movie wasn't afraid to like talk about it, to show like those things, the things involved in that, because they said, I've never seen that on a show, especially one for young girls, and that's a very important thing that happens, and that there's no reason not to talk about.
Yeah, very much so. And it also like has this wonderful kind of story running underneath it of a daughter trying to connect with her mom. And at the beginning of the movie, this is going great. Like the mom and the daughter get along great, and things are good, and she likes helping out at home, even though her friends think she's totally brainwashed because she like runs home every night to help out at the shrine. But that starts to kind of, there starts to be a divide there, and these two very similar characters start to trek away from each other, and it's bringing them back together. That makes this, that's what am I trying to say here? It's a really good B plot. That's what I'm trying to say, right. I guess. And go ahead.
Right. So part of how this, okay, we have the premise. She turns into the panda. She's trying not to turn into the panda, but how do we move forward? So the kind of larger plot that's happening is that the boy band Four Town, of which there are 5 members, are coming to town, and they want to see him, but it's expensive. It's $200 a ticket, and they're 13-year-olds, they don't have any money, so they start to hustle the panda there, like, because everyone at school loves the panda, so they start basically doing like a show in the bathroom. Pay us $5, you can see the panda, you can pet the panda, and so they start hustling hard to raise money to to go to the show. Obviously, this harebrained scheme goes wrong at some point, and feelings are hurt, and things are undone. But that's part of what is keeping this movie going. So we have a very relatable, plot of the kids are trying to go to the concert that their parents don't want them to go to, kind of.
Yeah, and Meilin's mom obviously is trying to protect her, right? She wants to keep her daughter safe from this red panda curse, but also she doesn't want her to go to a boy band concert, right, with a bunch of boys and hip hop lyrics, like, and she doesn't really like her friends either. And Meilin is put in this really interesting position because she has to manage this home life and school life, and school life is a much better reflection of who she really is. That's her personality, right? But her home life is where she comes from, like, and that's tradition, and that's who she's supposed to be. So Turning Red, like, is surprisingly efficient in its 96 minutes. It's got good pacing. It moves really quickly. We are bouncing from scene to scene, and I really, really like the animation, the way it's presented. And a surprising number of people have said that it's simple. They said, "Well, this is like Pixar dumbed down," and I don't get why people think that. I guess because of the anime trappings, like, it's some of the facial animations are a little simpler, but like, that's stylistic. That's the point. It's like saying Luca is bad animation because it's dumbed down. Like, no, you're missing the point. Like, it's supposed to be that way. And Toronto's beautiful in this movie. Like, I love the colors of everything here. It's a lot of neons, lots of bright hues, lots of pastels and the sunsets and the skies. Really tremendous presentation. I love the way it looks, and I love the way it moves.
Yeah, I definitely caught the anime references, and it's not just in the facial things. They take a lot. It's also in the characters' reactions and some of the action, particularly. The third act has a lot of action, and it's much more than I expected this movie to have. And yeah, a lot of it is completely taken out of, like, in any modern anime that you're watching, which is just a neat little thing that makes it really, really unique.
Yeah, and it's got a good script too. I think Turning Red's funny. I didn't laugh a lot, but it was a lot of smiles from the couch for me. Meanwhile, my wife was watching with me. She thought it was hilarious, so maybe that's uh, a soft review from her. But it's funny. It moves efficiently, and I didn't feel like I was left out. I think that's something that people have said that well, if you're not a young girl, then this doesn't apply to you and you don't get it. No, that's not how movies work. Like, there's a lesson here, whether you're a boy or a girl or anything anywhere. Like, you can be yourself, right? You can learn something new and do new things, and I think that's exciting. And that's something that Turning Red does. It does something I haven't seen in other films. I think that's important, right? That stands out.
Mhm.
Not everybody feels that way.
Yeah, I think one of the things is Meilin and her friends, they look like teenagers, like they look like these kind of like sweet dorky girls, as opposed to,
Mhm.
like, I don't know, something like Euphoria that has like models portraying
Yeah.
high school
God.
kids. It reminded me a little bit of Eighth Grade as well, because Eighth Grade does that as well. The Bo Burnham film from a few years ago, which is about the hardships of growing up, and the awkwardness, yeah, just the difficulty of coming of age. And yes, are we segueing to the controversy?
Just about. I did want to say, though, I definitely also thought about Eighth Grade from Bo Burnham. Like, same kind of
Mhm.
energy here. Like, this movie really gets inside its character's head, and that character is such a far cry from what I'm used to seeing. I don't see, like, we don't see movies from the perspective of young girls in modern times with texting and cell phones. I mean, Turning Red is in 2002, but fundamentally it's a very similar vibe. Maybe even a good double feature. The controversy. Andy, what
Dun, dun,
do
dun.
you want to explain this, or should I?
I only learned about this morning, actually.
Yeah,
So.
so Turning Red, when the embargo lifted, to start putting out reviews a few days before the film came out, one of the reviews from, I think it was San Antonio, I think it was the Texas joint, a San Antonio reporter basically trashed it, and they said this movie doesn't work. It's all about puberty, and that's bad. I'm not a 13-year-old girl, so it can't apply to me. This is terrible. And since then, I think the publication pulled that review, and
Yeah.
People
Man got
have
yeah, man went after him
yes. And what's
on
weird
Twitter.
is I think independently of that, a lot of other people have been arriving at the same conclusion. Like there's a surprising number of people who are coming out of this movie like down bad or something. Like I don't get it. I don't and it's confusing to me. So I think it's worth talking about at least for a minute because I think if you like this movie and you've bothered to listen to this review, you might already be aware of that. And I just wanted to I don't know get Andy's hot take, I
Yeah.
guess.
Right. So that's, I mean, to me, that's just blatant sexism because the majority of films have male leads, and it's something like only 25% to a third of films have female leads at all. So I mean, we're used to only seeing male protagonists, and the one time you have a female protagonist, all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't relate to it at all.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just kind of basic sexism. The other thing is like that, and that reviewer, it literally said this is Pixar's horniest film, which I find really grotesque to describe, like, middle schoolers that way. Like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, there are elements of them. They're starting to have feelings for the opposite sex, or starting to develop like small crushes. We just call that romance, man. We don't.
Yeah.
There's nothing sexual about it, and that's the thing. Like when we've had these same issues with male-led films, and yeah, when it's that, it's romance, but when it's for teenage girls, it's you guys made a horny film. So I found that really pretty distasteful way of describing it. And yeah, but it's a whole lot of like, because they're like fawning over the boy band, as girls do.
Yeah, like every
Like
13-year-old girl ever. Yeah, right.
and it's
No,
completely fine. So that's I was shocked. I literally woke up this morning and there was like a message on my phone asking me like, what are your thoughts on this controversy? And I was like, what controversy?
yeah. What controversy? Yeah, and like it's weird because like I said, he's not the only reviewer to arrive at this conclusion. Like since it's come out, a lot of amateur critics, audiences have said this. Like I think it had, if I remember correctly, it's something like a 90% on critics from Rotten and like a 66 from audiences on Rotten, because a lot of audience members feel this way. And it's I think you're right. Number
Salty
one,
men, that's what that
it's
sounds like.
sexism. Yeah, and it's this pearl clutching attitude. Number two, I think this the analogy, or really even the running theme of like this young girl growing into adolescence and having her first period is like shockingly taboo for a group of people out there that need to get over themselves. Like this is not a big deal. It's really not. It's a movie. Movies are about escapism. And
well,
go ahead.
I can't remember what was the movie with like middle schoolers that had a ton of like sex jokes in it from a couple years ago. Jacob Tremblay
Bad
was
kids. Yeah, bad words,
something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Like you'll put out what is essentially a raunchy teen comedy with a bunch of 13-year-old, like 11, 12, 13-year-old boys,
Right.
and no one says anything, but like you have four adolescent women very innocently fawning over
in a Disney feature.
Pop stars, and all of a sudden it's way too sexual.
Right. This is South Park controversy all over again. Kids saying curse words. Oh no. Like and I think it's petty. And lastly, and I think maybe the most important lesson from this, like Pixar does not always make movies that are exactly for the audience they appear to be. Soul looks like it would, like on its surface, if you muted Soul and couldn't see anything, like you were just watching it with no sound on, you might think it's a kid's movie. You might think it's a movie for children. It's got bouncy little characters. It's not. That's a movie for adults. Like that's a movie with adult themes. It's about adults. Like kids, I think, can enjoy it, maybe. But that's not exactly who that's for. And like, it's frustrating when somebody says, well, this movie's not for me and therefore I don't like it. It's like, I'm not even sure if you understand who it's for, because it's and if you did, I don't think you'd enjoy it anyway. So I don't know. Like weird controversy around Turning Red. It seems unnecessary. I'm glad we got to talk about it a little bit. With that being said, Andy, any other thoughts or recommendations?
I'm ready.
Oh, one more thing. Decent soundtrack from Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas. I'm surprised that they really managed to nail like the boy band like 2002 sound. So good for them. Andy, would you recommend Turning Red?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. It's a sweet coming of age story. A really important film for representation, for even just representation of a subject matter that for some reason is absent from most young cinema. and yeah, it's a lot of it's a lot of fun. It's funny. I mean, it's on Disney Plus. And again, this was going to be a big theatrical release, but then family films haven't been doing particularly well in the pandemic, so that's why it came out on Disney Plus. So I would highly recommend.
I'd recommend it as well. I really enjoyed this. Yeah, okay. There's going to be some people out there who aren't going to like this, but that's like every movie, and those people, I would say, probably should watch it because it would help them grow as people. Like, I don't think
I
there's
mean,
anything wrong with what
there's
Turning Red's
always
doing.
people that are
Yeah.
not going to like a movie that has a female lead,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Oh, my stars and garters. Yeah. I can't believe they did this. I'm bummed Turning Red did not come to theaters. I am. I was going to see a movie with a buddy yesterday that works in animation, and he was like, "What do you want to watch?" And I said, "I guess the Batman," because literally nothing else came out last weekend.
Yeah.
Uncontested slate. This movie could have dropped. Nothing else would have ran against it except week 2, week 3 of the Batman. I'm bummed. I'm bummed. And Andy's right. Like Andy's right. Like these movies are doing fine on Disney Plus, and that is not a bad thing. Like this movie got pushed to Disney Plus. But like I would have liked to have seen the spectacle of what's happening here on a big screen. That's all. I like watching movies at the movies. All right.
Yeah,
That's there. Yeah.
yeah. I think it
Not
would.
quite the
I think
same
it would have
drama.
been a good. It would have been a good crowd pleaser. Would have been a fun movie to see with a group, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Would have been good. Could have taken my cool wife for a date night. Would have been great. Anyway. That's Turning Red. With that being said, we need to move into our next segment. Andy, you want to introduce this for us?
It's time for the death of cinema. So we haven't done the death of cinema in quite some time. We're going to be talking about this report that came out. The 2021 global box office is down 50% from pre-pandemic times, which is a good thing because it's not
Believe
down.
it or not.
It's not down 80%, which it was last year. So some numbers here for you. In 2021, ticket sales topped 21 billion. Which is up from 11 billion in 2020, but still down from the massive 42 billion in 2019. So 2019 was kind of a banner year. I think some of the biggest record-breaking numbers we had. So we're about halfway there, not completely recovered. But it's showing this is going to be, I mean, probably several more years to get to that, if ever, because that's the other part is streaming is so huge now, and the streaming market is actually overtaking all the numbers previously. So it's like there is no pandemic for streaming.
Right.
If anything, it's fueled the streaming numbers even more.
Yeah. I think this can be a little scary when you're looking at the data up close. It can be a little confusing, and there's a lot of numbers, and there's a lot of years, and there's a lot of dates, and there's a lot of money getting exchanged here. But like the 35,000 foot view, the important things I think you need to understand is one, online streaming is hugely popular and it's not going anywhere. If anything, it is still growing, even though movies are coming back to theaters. There's this great fact here. In 2019, only 93 films. No, I'm sorry. In 2019, only 113 movies were exclusively original streaming titles, right? Netflix originals, Disney Plus originals, whatever. In 2021, 179. It's not quite double, but that's some big growth. Like people know what's up. And additionally, people are starting to come back to the movies, sure, but not as fast as I think movie theaters would like. And so they're getting creative. They're coming up with things like, variable pricing on the Batman if you want to see it in an AMC. I don't know what that means, but we're not out of the woods yet. That much is absolutely for sure.
Right. Another interesting thing from this study was that men are overwhelmingly fueling the box office recovery, particularly the 18 to 35 male demographic are hugely supporting that. When we can see that in things like Spider-Man No Way Home, the Batman, those kind of comic book action movies, that's what people are coming out to see. That's what and it also tells us who is not coming out, which are older audiences, those over 40, and also women are not coming back as much either, particularly older women. So we have one of four demographics doing really well. I'm not sure what that means because it's a business, so they're inclined to just do more of what works and not really take any risk for the audiences that aren't coming out.
Yeah. Additionally, families are not coming back to the
Yes.
movies, which is a problem, right? For movies like Turning Red. Here I am talking smack about how, man, I really wish I could have seen this in theater. And notice I'm actually, Andy and I are in that going to the movies the most category, and the target audience for Turning Red, which is going to be families, is in the going to the movies the least category. 9 out of the last 10 streaming movies cited in the MPA report were kid friendly. Hold on, what am I reading here? 9 out of the last 10 movies. What am I trying to say?
Nine of the
I think
top
I just had a
10
stroke on the
streaming
podcast.
movies
Yeah.
Were kid friendly. So streaming
Yes.
is huge with families and with younger audiences.
Yeah, streaming's huge and it's not going away. And I'm going to be honest, hot take, Andy, why do you think it is? Actually, you know what? Let me tell you my hot take first, and you can either agree or disagree. I don't want to put you on the spot. I think families aren't going to the movies because movies are expensive. And kids want their popcorn and kids want their drink. And those little kid pack things where you get a little bit of everything are like $9. Those are not a deal. You're getting ripped off for sure. And by the time you get your whole family in, right, and your couple kiddos, you're going to be out, $100, $200 going to the movies on a Friday night versus renting it at home and watching it as many times as your kid want on repeat over and over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, something like Turning Red, I'm sure was massive for family this weekend. I mean, I saw someone post that they'd seen it 5 times because their child had watched it 5 times over the weekend.
Yeah,
so you can do that with a brand new high quality release. And yeah, it's not just the price; it's the convenience because if you go out on a Friday night, you got to schedule, you got to get people together, you got to drive, and again, it's expensive. Or you could stay in, watch at your own leisure. You spend half as much money on snacks at home. I mean, it's a no brainer. It's a fraction of the cost not to go out.
Now, other side of the coin. Why are men aged 18 to 35 going to the movies?
They got no families.
Exactly. Yeah. They're either single, they're going with their buddies to see a comic movie,
or they're leaving the kids
taking a date.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Or they're leaving the kids at home.
Yes, like those are the people going to see movies. Why are women not going to see movies? Probably because they have better stuff to do, right? Like sourdough starter killed the cinema industry. I don't know exactly. I tell you, I am bummed by the lack of women going to movies because that's important. I think that's important to have a good even keel landscape of what's coming out at the movies. I don't want it just to comic book movies and action movies all the time. That's bad. And I know Sandra Bullock's got that new movie coming out, The Lost City, but like,
it's like
I don't know, man. I don't know if that's gonna do it.
I mean, that looks like it's gonna be a funny movie that will probably bring out female audiences. But that's one. I mean, I can't think of anything else that we did our March, April preview. I can't think of anything else that appeals to women specifically.
Yeah, right.
And we know all older audiences as well are just partially because of COVID fears are not coming out. Things that would go see things like Death on the Nile, Top Gun Maverick. Which is allegedly still coming out in May. I believe it when I
is
see
it really May? We better be getting a trailer.
It premiered at Cannes. They showed it at Cannes, so it has to now.
It's got to happen. Yeah, it has to come out eventually. Yeah, I'm bummed by the current box office landscape, and I hope more people start going back to the movies. But like additionally, I get it. Like we're all drinking from the same Kool-Aid here. We're all in the same economy. Y'all know how much popcorn costs. I don't have to tell you how much a drink is at the movies. It's outrageous. It's obscene. And you can stay home. You can sip water on your couch for much less time and much less effort and much less money. People know that. And I wish the response to this from theaters wasn't the same damn thing they've been doing for the last 30 years, which is just upping prices. Like that's not it. Don't do that. Like don't make it harder for people to go. Don't increase that barrier to entry for those of us who do go to the movies. Like make it easier.
Theaters are just making streaming grow.
Right. Like they're not helping it, like they're hurting it. But they're gonna, cry and whine all the way to the bank, I guess, whenever they get there. I miss during the pandemic when we thought movie theaters were going to die.
We were almost there. We were
almost there. We really were.
Spider-Man came along.
Yeah, Spider-Man came along and blew it right out of the water.
Chris Nolan on Suicide Watch because he wanted to be responsible for saving cinema.
Yeah, the movies are coming back, but they're coming back in a weird way, and it's different than it was before. So when you go to the movies, just remind yourself there's gonna be a lot more dudes there, and there's gonna be a lot more kids, I guess, a lot less kids, and maybe that's a good thing if that's what you like going to the movies for. But I don't know. That's killing cinema this week. That's the death of cinema. Any other thoughts before we move on to the Adam Project?
I'm ready to move on.
All right,
That's been
yeah.
the
So
death of cinema.
I know, yeah, that's been the death of cinema. Wah wah. Like that's been the whole thing. Need outro music for the death of cinema. Anyway, Andy, please take it away.
The Adam Project. So this is the latest sci-fi action film from Netflix, starring Ryan Reynolds and Mark Ruffalo and Jennifer Garner. It is a time-traveling family drama. Ryan Reynolds comes back from the future, crash lands in what I believe is 2018, and runs into his younger self, played by Walker Scobell, who's 10, 12 at the time. He's back in this convoluted plot of having to save the future from something or other. But the movie's more about, the old version meeting the younger version and them kind of talking about like, oh, what happens, or do I do this? Do I do that? The family unit is kind of not in trouble, but they're grieving. They've suffered the loss of their father, played by Mark Ruffalo, who has recently passed. And so we have this very tense family situation where Jennifer Garner is doing her best to just keep everything together, and the child, younger Adam, is just kind of a jerk kid about it, and he's grieving in his own way. He's struggling. He doesn't really know what else to do. So there's a lot of family drama going on as well. Eventually, we have to do some more time traveling, and they're being chased by evil time traveling corporate people from the future, led by Catherine Keener. We get some action, we get family drama. This actually works a lot better than most Netflix films. Usually Netflix films really suffer in the writing. This is a lot better than most, but it still has its issues. So, Zach, what'd you think?
I was surprised by the Adam Project, actually. When Andy pitched it for the show last week, I thought, yeah, okay, yeah, it's on streaming. It's easy to get to. We've been doing a lot of theatrical films lately. It's got Ryan Reynolds from Shawn Levy, director, Free Guy. Sure, right? Like it'll be a 116-minute streaming film. Great, right? The Adam Project. Actually better than I thought it was going to be. And that's saying something, because often on this show, Andy and I have come to find that when a movie is Netflix original, it's probably not going to be that good. But the Adam Project excels in its script. Like it's clever writing, and it's kind of time travel as a plot device keeps you interested for nearly the whole runtime. I'll be honest, there are some parts where I got a little bored. It felt a little dull, and the budget trappings of this movie do start to creep in on it. But
Ryan Reynolds took all the money.
Surprisingly fun. Yeah, he for sure did. Absolutely. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is definitely the meat of this. So Andy, where do you want to start talking about it?
Let's get into the plot a little bit more. So Ryan Reynolds has come back to essentially save his wife, who also got lost in some sort of other time traveling thing. His wife's played by Zoe Saldana. She shows up a little bit later. He is injured because he's been running from some bad people. There's a whole lot of things that happen off screen. He's like, oh, the future's terrible. Everything's been destroyed, or we have to stop this or that from happening. But we never actually see it. We just kind of are told through it. And I really hate when that happens. Like, I hate when a movie tells me how bad the future is, and then we never see it. Tenet does it the same way. Terminator's guilty of that.
Yeah, pretty much anything with an opening, any sci-fi movie with an opening text block will do that. They'll be like, well, here's a bunch of exposition we're going to tell you instead of show you. It's hard to get away from. Even the good ones do it. Blade Runner 2049 has that. Dune does not have that.
See, Blade Runner 2049 shows us this terrible future.
Well, it's still, yes, true. You're right. It does get to the ambiance fast. Anyway, sorry.
There's a lot of great chemistry between Ryan Reynolds and Walker Scobell, because they're both, supposed to be the same person. So they're both wisecracking people with attitude, and so they're kind of poking at each other the entire time. The difference is that Ryan Reynolds is the older, hopefully more mature person who regrets a lot of his kind of behavior and actions of his younger self, and he's trying to kind of impart some of this, like, hey man, don't do this or don't do that or don't be this way because of things that happen in the future. Also, this kind of has a little bit of a time travel caveat. It's always interesting what rules time travel movies decide to establish. One of the questions brought up is, if the younger one does something, does the older one instantly, like, is it a memory created in his head and something like that? In this movie, the answer is no. When he returns to his main timeline, all those memories will come flooding in. But it's the opposite in Looper. It's the opposite. It's in Looper, anything you do is instantly remembered by your older self.
Yes. So this movie's main gimmick is there's two main gimmicks to the Adam Project. Number one, Ryan Reynolds. Just playing Ryan Reynolds. He's doing the snarky Deadpool Ryan Reynolds the whole movie.
Van Wilder.
That's his character. Yes, Van Wilder, Just Friends, Waiting, Ryan Reynolds. Like, it's the Ryan Reynolds it's the Ryan Reynolds you love. Even in Free Guy, he was a bit of a departure from traditional Ryan Reynolds because he was kind of the smiling NPC character named Guy. Here he's snarky, he's sarcastic, he's Ryan Reynolds. And the kid is Ryan Reynolds too, right? Like, it's the same kind of energy. So the kid also is slinging Ryan Reynolds' line. And because the kid is Ryan Reynolds, older Ryan Reynolds gets to bully a child, which we get to watch in this movie. He doesn't once he does actually physically bully a child, but it's a different child. Anyway, the other reason this movie works is the gimmick. It's time travel, right? And what's great in this movie that so many time travel movies don't really want to explore is what happens when you run into yourself. Back to the Future used to say time paradox, right? The universe turns in on itself. You can't do it. You cannot meet your future or past self. Looper says
Time Cop says you'll explode.
Yes, Looper says you can do it, but it's nothing really good's going to happen. Like, it's going to get bad to worse really quickly. And the Adam Project runs that straight into itself by telling you in the trailer your older and younger self are going to meet. That's like the start of it, which is interesting and makes for a really good first act. Like, this kid's pretty good. Walter Scobell's actually pretty solid. This is his first feature film. Good for him. Ryan Reynolds is solid, right? It keeps it moving. Though I should say, like I said at the top, you do start to feel the budget trappings of this movie because this is a small budget film. It does not have many sets, and a lot of it is shot on soundstage or green screen, even though it looks like it's in the forest. And if you're looking for it, you do start to notice that. And I think that's one of the reasons this movie works really well on streaming. If it was on a big screen, you'd be able to see those seams a lot easier. But at home, and a quick little story, it's not bad.
Yeah, there are some action sequences. Because the movie actually starts out a little bit slow, but then there's a lot. These bad guys from the future show up and they try to arrest Ryan Reynolds, who's also, I guess, kind of a military person. So he can fight too. He's got this thing that's totally not a lightsaber, but is a lightsaber.
The script's very pop culture. Yeah. Lightsabers, Back to the Future is mentioned. Yeah.
And so, he has hand-to-hand combat fights with these baddies from the future several times. Again, Catherine Keener is chasing him down because he knows something or he's going to stop or what, it doesn't matter. But the action is okay. It definitely seems a little small budget, and again, that's where you're like, that's where the Netflix is.
Yes, most of our B plot, all the stuff that takes place in the future that has driven our pilot Ryan Reynolds back to the past, happens all in dialogue. You don't ever see it. They don't ever show it. There's characters just saying like, "I can't believe you betrayed me, and now we're here," or "Well, you left me there, and now we're here in time." Which is fine, but it definitely sidelines the kid. And the movie starts and ends with it kind of being his story at that time in 2018. But it very quickly becomes older Ryan Reynolds movie. Like, he really picks up that plot and runs with it. One of the things that's notable outside of like the limited locations and the CGI, which is fine, is the cast list. Andy said at the top, there's a bunch of good names in here just off the poster. Ryan Reynolds, Mark Ruffalo, Jennifer Garner, Walker Scoble. His name's Walker, not Walter. Oh my God, Andy.
Walker Scoble.
Kid's name is Walker. Walker Scoble. Sorry. He's good. I mean it. He's not bad. He's actually good to me. Catherine Keener, Zoe Saldana. Most of those people are not on set for more than like a few days. Yeah. Ryan Reynolds is most of the movie. Jennifer Garner's on set for like 2 or 3 days. Like, Catherine Keener wasn't around that much. Like, they do a good job of kind of plucking these characters and placing them individually alongside one another, so you don't really see them all together, and you never really get any kind of big denouement where all of our cast is together at once, but it works. It works. Like, it's a small budget movie, but it's got a fun script. It's got a good amount of locations, and the time travel thing is enough to keep you interested. And you're like, okay, yeah, like it's 100. I was wrong at 160 minutes. So 106 minute Netflix movie. It's great. It's great. Easy, light popcorn movie.
Yeah, I was going to mention Mark Ruffalo's in here. He plays a scientist. At one point, they go back in time again, the two of them, to see him for plot reasons, and so you have a fun moment where Mark Ruffalo has two versions of his son he gets to interact with, and there's, so they do some of that kind of fun sci-fi thing.
Yeah, like and that a little like how Scream 5 like had a fun script because it's meta. This has a fun script because it's constantly turning characters back on themselves, and like just like Looper or Back to the Future or any other decent time travel movie, like you're gonna have fun, but before you know it, the movie's gonna be rolling the credits, and you're like, man, that was a good time. And I think that's what's so effective about this movie is that it's disarmingly good. I did not think it was going to be as good as it was. It's not great, but it's pretty solid, right, Andy?
Yeah, I think so.
Any other thoughts for recommendations?
I'm ready.
Andy, would you recommend Netflix's The Adam Project?
What's it? I would say save it for streaming. Yeah,
Yep.
it's a fun little movie. It's if you got some time and you're looking for something that's fun, it's got some action, it's got a little bit of family drama. Jennifer Garner's kind of sidelined, unfortunately.
I'm telling you, a few of them are, but yeah.
Yeah.
To me, anyway. I like it,
Yeah, and again, the biggest issue with this movie and most Netflix stuff is the writing, and I feel like they almost had like this needed a few more drafts to kind of cohesively put like the action stuff with the family stuff and really make it work better. Like it could have been a much better movie, but I'm sure it's fine by Netflix standards.
Sorry, I was going to say that reminds me. There's after the show's over because it's a bit of a spoiler. There's a scene in this movie that I want to talk to you about that I swear was an insert in post. Like, there's no way they shot it and meant to include it where it's at. But if I tell you it, I think you'll know what it is. Anyway, sorry. Is it my turn to review? I didn't mean to cut you off. I totally.
Yeah. So I would recommend it. It is better than most Netflix movies. It's a fun little thing. It's not too serious. There's a lot of jokes. It's definitely hurting on its budget action, budget bad guys, budget lightsaber, all that stuff. But it was fine.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. This movie works because of the platform it's on. If I had seen this in theaters, I'd be like 1 out of 10. This movie's trash. This is like Gemini Man. Like, it's bad. But because I saw it on Netflix and I didn't really know what I was getting into, like, surprisingly decent. Like, if you're looking for something decent to throw on Netflix, it's pretty light. You don't have to think too much. You can hang out and have dinner with your family or whoever. Like, it's I mean, PG-13 at best. Like, yeah, Adam Project. Solid little sci-fi film on Netflix, and I feel like I can give a better review because of that. Like, because the barrier to entry is lower, you're not going to pay $20 going to a movie theater. The Adam Project, pretty decent. And speaking of decent, Andy, what are we watching next week?
X.
X.
So we got a couple of things, new releases this week. X, which is the horror film coming out next week about a group of young co-eds going out to the countryside in 1979 to film an adult film, and are probably all going to get slaughtered. It's obviously a throwback to things like Texas Chainsaw and slashes of the 70s and 80s. Looks like a lot of fun. It's from A24. Stars Mia Goth, who you might remember from Suspiria, and who else is in this?
Jenny Ortega from Scream 5.
Right.
Who is super good, by the way. She's a sideline character in that movie, but she's definitely a good Scream queen. She's solid.
Right. And then the other one,
Jenna Ortega, I'm sorry.
This is kind of a strange one. Deep Water, which is an erotic thriller starring Anna de Armas and Ben Affleck, which comes out on Hulu. I have not watched the trailer for this. I've seen a little bit about this movie. It just seems it looks bizarre and it's kind of a weird choice, but it's on Hulu. It comes out this week and we're going to check that out. It has 2 major stars, so we'll see what it's all about.
That's right. So here's the thing. I'm in the same boat with Deep Water. I haven't seen the trailer. I just know it's Anna de Armas and Ben Affleck, and one of those one of those people I really want to see, and the other person I don't care to see at all. And I'll let y'all at home figure out which one I mean. But we were talking about watching Belfast, Kenneth Branagh's new film, nominated for a few Academy Awards, I should say, black and white. But it's $7 to rent it.
I like how we were
listen,
like, I like how we were like, it's $20. No way. And I was like, it's $7. No way.
Listen, it's a couple things here. One, Andy and I are cheap. I'll be honest. All right, that's true. In this economy, how could you not be? And two, dude, I'd seen Kenneth Branagh's last two movies, and neither of them are good. And I know people say, well, Belfast is nominated for a bunch of stuff. Yes, so was The Artist. Like, that doesn't mean it's going to be a great movie. Like, so I'm glad it's getting some love. But between the two of us, that's $14 net, and I don't know. I'm not super inclined to blow cash on that. So tell you what was it you said, Andy? What's the deal? If Belfast wins Best Picture, we're gonna watch it.
Yeah, that's right. If anything that wins Best Picture, we have to see. So if Belfast wins Best Picture, we'll shell out. You know, we'll combo it. We'll do start a GoFundMe so we can go.
I think that's fair. While we're here, before we do the closeout, any who do you think's gonna win Best Picture? Not Belfast. You don't think Belfast is gonna win, surely?
The big money's on Power of the Dog.
Because it won the Critics' Choice Award.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, we didn't talk about this. There were a bunch of awards over the weekend: the BAFTAs and the Critics' Choice, and Jane Campion won Best Director. Yep. I think Power of the Dog won, but Best Film or whatever. So
it was great.
Hot money's on that.
She won. She hopped on stage and immediately insulted Venus and Serena Williams. It's incredible.
Yeah, I saw that.
What did she say? She said
something about you don't have to compete against men like I do.
Yeah, you don't have to compete against men like I do, which was tongue in cheek, and they were taking photos after and everything, and like that's great. She was referring to them in regards to King Richard, the Will Smith movie, which of course they are subjects in. And for what it's worth, is because some people said, "Oh, she just blew her chances of winning the Academy Award." I'm pretty sure the Academy already has the voting in, so that happened before she got up on stage and said whatever she said. Whatever. That's another topic for another show. But I hope Power of the Dog doesn't win. I don't. I just don't. Look, it's fine. It's fine. I like stuff with a little flash to win Best Picture. Like I do. I like stuff to I don't know. Then again, Parasite won Best Picture, and I thought that was huge. And Power of the Dog is an outsider, just like Parasite. Yeah, all right. It's always great when an underdog gets it. So, if you enjoyed the show today, sorry, I got to wrap this up. I'm wandering here. If you enjoyed the show today, if you liked what we're doing here on Off Script, that's true. Rambling Man. The biggest thing you can do is you can check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/offscript film review, I think is our name. Where we live stream the show every Tuesday. You can follow us there for more. You can find us on YouTube where we upload our live streams. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're around. We're on all those usual podcast sites, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia, where you'll find your audio-only podcast. That could be where you listen to the show right now. And if you want to help us, if you want to do us a solid, your boys here at Off Script, you could subscribe. Just subscribe to the show to get new episodes delivered straight to your phone whenever they drop on Tuesday evenings. You could also rate and review too. If you're around, tell us what you thought of the show. Tell us what you think of this very episode, this moment right now in time. Just tell us what you think. And we'll, read correspondence on the air if we got it. Otherwise, I'm excited to talk about next week. I don't know what X is going to be about. I don't know what Deepwater is going to be about. Maybe we'll watch Belfast. Anything could happen on Off Script episode 170. So keep it here for more. And from all of us at Off Script, the home of Bold Cinema, I'm Zach Lewis.
And I'm Dr. Draper.
Thanks for watching.